Fox Sports South. And the Red Sox and the Braves wrap up this three-game series from Turner Field. Atlanta trying to salvage the finale as we get ready to go. Tommy Hansen under the weather, but is making the start here this afternoon. And he'll face Pedroia, Drew, and Youkilis. Tommy's been pitching so well, Joe Simpson, and we've seen command of the curveball. It's been the fastball command that at times has been an issue.
And he says it's because he gets in a hurry, Boog. He's not waiting to let his arm catch up to his body. Body jumps at home plate and his arm drags, and that sometimes causes you to miss high and away when you open up too fast. His first start, 7 runs, 6 innings pitched, 3 homers. He allowed, remember, 3 2-run homers to the Brewers. But since then, 17 innings and just 2 runs allowed. Outstanding work. Ford keys to the game, and the Ford keys to success for Tommy Hansen today. Short innings. Boy, if ever you need short innings today, it's today. And follow the leader. I mean, these guys have been pitching lights out. Follow yesterday's lead from Javi Vasquez, who pitched brilliantly again, but hope that your teammates get you some more runs.
I think the other thing is, well, good experience for Tommy Hansen. Braves obviously playing the National League, but back-to-back starts, let's be honest, against the big boys. The Yankees, the Red Sox, 2 of the best lineups that you are going to see in the big leagues. Ready to go as Pedroia stands in, and Hansen toes the slab. First pitch of the game, a fastball. In for a strike. We're underway. Dustin Pedroia, the MVP a season ago, outstanding on base percentage. They moved him into the leadoff spot and dropped Jacoby Ellsbury. Curveball lifted to left. Anderson coming in. And the first out of the game. How about today's Toyota starting lineups for Terry Francona, the Boston Red Sox? They are 4th in the American League in runs scored, 4th in homers, 3rd in on base. Top 3 are Pedroia, Drew, and Youkilis. But it is David Ortiz. They have finally gotten him going in last 18 games, slugging .800.
That's a huge addition to their lineup, getting him going again.
Now it's J.D. Drew, the former Brave. Yeah, Ortiz is huge, especially, Jill, because, let's be honest, this is a team now carried by Youkilis and Bay. They don't need him to be the Big Papi of the Manny and Big Papi combo. Just as a kind of a supplementary part, if he can deliver as a number 5 hitter, that'll be good enough.
Especially if Mike Lowell continues to battle his hip problem and can't be in the lineup.
A lot of Red Sox fans here and making some noise.
There's that pitch that we saw a lot of against the Yankees. That fastball up and away, out of the zone, primarily because he gets in a rush.
J.D. Drew with an outstanding eye. Had a tough day yesterday, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And another brilliant pitching performance by Javier Vasquez, who held the Red Sox down all day long. 7 2/3 innings, gave up a run on 6 hits. Hansen back to work. And that foul tipped into the glove of McCann.
Boston has won 4 of the 5 games played between these two teams, but they've only outscored Atlanta 16-14. Just a few more runs for Atlanta, and that might be a flip-flopped record.
Payoff pitch, and that one off the end of the bat. Jeff Francoeur there to put it away, and 2 outs.
Boston's won 12 of the last 15 games played between these two teams as well, and 7 of the last 8 at Turner Field.
And the Red Sox come in a hot team, playing good baseball in first place in the powerful American League East. And Kevin Youkilis stands in. And you could hear the fans here at Turner Field, the Red Sox fans uking.
A very unique batting stance, to say the least, not just with his hands being split when he starts his swing, but also who else stands with their feet side by side anymore? No one that I can think of.
Youkilis has been asked, where did he start with sliding that hand up near the label of the bat? And he says, I have no idea. That it's just something that happened. And here's the thing, Joe, as bizarre as the stance is, this guy has turned into not a good hitter, a great hitter, an elite hitter in the American League.
And hitting .313 as he stands there now. Certainly has a batting championship, a hitting crown in his future.
Good breaking pitch. He went too far. Chad Fairchild rung him up. Kevin Youkilis didn't like the fact that he didn't ask down there at first. And I think he held up.
I thought he went. But look at him. He's on that back line, feet side by side, and a long stride.
I will say this, back to that previous check swing. We kind of do the yin and the yang always, it seems, on the check swing. You got to ask.
Yeah.
I understand when guys get frustrated when they don't ask. John Hirschbeck's got a better view down at first. Check in with him. 3-2 now. Pitch number 14 of the inning. Hansen. And Youkilis lays off. One of the things about Kevin Youkilis, a great eye. A .442 on base percentage, leading the American League coming into today. And that'll bring up Jason Bay.
Got to cut down on the walks. Got to cut down on the 3-2 counts, too. A couple of guys were walking, though, not just Hansen moving to the dugout. Kelly, Johnson, Hernandez, they thought that pitch was pretty good, too. As if Fairchild had missed it.
So Hansen will work out of the stretch for the first time today and facing a dangerous hitter. That clips the corner. Jason Bay, the on base .387. He's slugging .570. He has been a major force in their lineup since they got him last year in that three-way deal with the Pirates and the Dodgers. And he's making himself some money, Joe Simpson, a free agent at the end of the year. They've had some talks, but right now nothing ongoing.
Able to write his own ticket wherever he wants to play. On top of a high salary.
Good slider, 1-2.
It's originally from British Columbia, right?
That is correct. He is a native Canadian. In fact, he is going to be a United States citizen coming up on the 2nd of July, I believe. He'll be taking the test.
Could see him landing in Seattle if he wanted to be close to home.
Yeah, it says that he will earn dual citizenship July 2nd. He'll be sworn in as a U.S. citizen. His wife is American. Been in the U.S. since he was 16. He's got his green card. And so he'll be sworn in on the 2nd. So congratulations in advance. The 1-2. It's an interesting story. I mean, a guy that bounced around, didn't get an opportunity. Was with the Expos for a little bit, with the Mets for a little bit, Padres as well.
Just saw Brian McCann take his mask off and try to get a little air on his face. He's a guy that hopes for short innings today, too.
You're not kidding. Youkilis over there at first. No score, just getting started at Turner Field. And another good crowd. Breaking ball lifted in the air. Blanco glides over. And that's that. No runs, no hits, so walk. Give it a half inning. Red Sox nothing. Braves coming up. Field. So the starting lineups. Bobby Cox and the Braves, 12th in the NL in runs scored. Blanco, Johnson, and Chip are the top three. Garrett Anderson has been hot of late, and in interleague play, not tough to figure, a 340 average. So he's enjoyed going up against the opponents he is more familiar with.
And Brad Penny will be the starter for the Boston Red Sox. Told you he's won 6 games already, a 294 average against him. He's allowed 8 homers, coming off a start against Washington where he got no decision. Went 5 2/3, came out with the score tied 3-3. 4 keys to pitching success for him. Don't melt. He has been on a roll, as we told you. Only 3 earned runs allowed in his last 3 starts, over 16 2/3 innings.
Gregor Blanco stands in. Penny's first pitch to him misses upstairs. Brad Penny, big guy. I mean, you're talking about 6'4". They list him at 230. I'd say that slights him probably a touch.
I'd say 20 to 25 pounds light on that. But as I was saying to you between innings, when he was warming up, he appears to be in good shape. Last year, we saw him with the Dodgers. There was a little bit of Dunlop working.
The 1-1. Explain that, please.
His belly had Dunlopped over his belt. But you can see his belt today, and that's a good sign for Brad Penny.
Yeah, pitching better and better. The Red Sox went into a free agent market and invested in some, I guess you'd say, low risk proposition, high reward guys. Brad Penny would be one, Takashi Saito another. John Smoltz would fit into that category as well, and their thought was if we hit the jackpot on 1, 2, 3 of those guys, it'll well be worth it. Saito, by the way, has pitched well. The 2-2.
Penny throws hard. He's in the mid-90s. Broad shoulder guy. He's got a good breaking ball. Not a changeup to speak of, but an off-speed curveball. Look at the shoulders on this guy out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Payoff pitch. On a bounce. Youkilis gathers it in. So Penny gets the first man that he faces. And again, no Mike Lowell today for the Boston Red Sox. Interleague play, so they start Ortiz at first, and Youkilis, who can play both corner infield spots defensively. And Lowell will not be joining the team back onto Baltimore. Instead, Mike will go back to Boston and get a shot in that injured hip.
First start in 4 days for Kelly Johnson. He's had a couple of pinch hit appearances, but it's been a rough month of June for him. And maybe a few days off is what he needed.
Chased after that. Not sure what that was. Looked to be biting down and away, and Kelly came up empty.
That looked kind of like the changeup that I said he doesn't throw.
Right. There's the breaking ball and a nice stop by Varitek. He's a guy, Brad Penny, originally drafted in the 5th round by the Diamondbacks.
He did something funny there, though, Boog. I mean, that ball bounced way in front of the plate, but yeah, I think he's going to need to be checked. Shaking his hand. Right there, he grabbed his hand after that pitch. It was a curveball, and it's almost like he cramped up, or maybe that nerve, that ulnar nerve, got twinged or something.
On a day like today, cramp's always a possibility.
He's had some arm issues in the past, not limited to, but primarily bicep. He's pointing at his hand and wrist.
Yeah, last year it was shoulder, but he had one of those injuries 2 years ago or 3 years ago that a couple of guys had, including Chris Carpenter, that compressed nerve that was bothering him and irritating him, and it looks like he'll be fine. Big Poppy coming in, and for the moment he'll play Dr. Poppy just to make sure.
I was just thinking about Doc Poppy. I wonder if he kind of raked his hand into his glove, bent a finger back or something.
So the count 1-2. So you said fastball here, right?
Yeah.
That one fouled off of Kelly's foot. I mean, my thought process, I should have fleshed it out a little bit, would be if there's something wrong with his hand, you figure he's not going to go with a field pitch.
He's not going to try to break off his best hook.
One and two now. Well, he tried to throw one right there, and Pedroia on a bounce. Kelly's retired. So much for my theory.
Yeah, but it was the second one.
Two down now, and Penny will go to work against Chipper Jones. And Chipper, from Penny's time with the Dodgers and the Marlins, with extensive experience against Brad, he's fared well, and maybe this will be the guy that'll get him right, because Chipper has been slumping.
Yeah, there's a big banner out across the front of the Chop House. Meet Chipper. Go to Braves.com/win. They want to meet the Chipper that was hitting in May and not the one that's been hitting in June.
Yeah, the one that hit .364 and won the batting title last year.
Yeah.
He was late there.
Just 10 for his last 60 with 1 RBI in his last 17 games. And a team going 5-12 over that spell. Not so coincidental.
He does, by the way, this courtesy of Gretchen Caney, have a stretch worse than 10 for 60 in his big league career. 2005, he had a 60 at bat stretch where he went 8 for 60.
He's been so good, you quickly forget those. So when he goes into one of these, it's a big deal.
In his career against Brad Penny, 13 for 42, a .310 average, and 1 homer. It is cooking out there today.
Nineteen pitches for Tommy Hansen in the top of the inning, and we're at 16 for Brad Penny.
I like the guy with the ear flaps there. Got to keep it all cool. He looks like he's ready to go on safari after the game.
Got a lady down right below us, Laser Baker fan. She brought her own fan, and I mean a box fan.
Chipper gets into this one, left field, way back, out of here. That's a good way to end the drought. His second career homer against Brad Penny, 9th of the season, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead.
You called it, Boog. You said maybe Brad Penny's the tonic he needed. His first hit of this 3-game series, and snaps an 0 for 9 by going the other way. High hanging curveball. He didn't try to pull it. Just dropped that big 36-ounce bat on it. Gone.
You kind of forget how big he is. Gets great plate coverage. And then that big bat, I mean, he swings a telephone pole. There aren't too many guys out there swinging a bigger bat than Chipper Jones. And part of what makes him so dangerous, the ability to hit the ball out in that direction, especially in this park. The 1-0 to McCann. And it's even up.
Brian's had a good series after sitting out a game during this homestand because of some blurry vision, some dizziness. But on the road to recovery, and 5 for 16 on the homestand.
Gets into this one. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Wow. Did he jump on that or what?
Mercy. What a shame that didn't stay fair. Did that reach the terrace level? Tried to come in on him. Fastball. And 6 or 8 feet foul. Oh my gosh, that's 4 or 5 rows into the terrace level.
The 1-2. I would say that we see maybe 3 home runs land in the terrace level a season. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. You really got to get on one to get it there. Nobody's reached that second deck club level in my recollection. I don't think anyone's gone up there yet.
And a foul tip held onto by Varitek. McCann is gone. But the damage done. Chipper Jones gets into one the other way for Chipper, his 9th of the year. And the Braves take a 1-0 lead to the second. And Chipper Jones has given the Braves their first lead since Wednesday. David Ortiz stands in. Big Papi starting to get into the swing of things. And first pitch fastball for a strike. Ortiz, who hit a home run on Friday night, hit 1 homer his first 192 at bats. He's hit 7 in his last 49.
Turner Field's been good to him also. Not a ballpark you would think that would be kind to an opponent over a very short number of games, but he's hit 6 homers in his last 10 games here.
Those June numbers, that's kind of in line. Slugging's a little high, but kind of in line with what we've seen from him the last 4 seasons, basically.
And I would say the first 2 months, no one would have said he's going to be the player of the month in June, but he's got a good chance of being the American League Player of the Month.
Yeah, good point. Tommy Hansen falling behind 2-1. The pitch to Ortiz. There's that good curveball.
He's just so quick inside, so strong. He had a home run off Jurgens the other night that I couldn't believe he got the barrel of the bat to. Show you that home run. Pitch was on the inside part of the plate. It ran back over the outside, but he had to pull his hands in, and it looked like a pitch that he might be able to hit on the brand, maybe, but like he was going to get jammed, and instead it was 10 rows deep.
Two and two now. Nobody on, nobody out. Wouldn't chase after the slider. We talk about Chipper Jones and what makes him tough to deal with. When David Ortiz is locked in, you will see balls hit with power to the left of second base.
And over the green monster in Boston or into those seats in straightaway center.
Jason Varitek waiting in the on deck circle. Here comes a payoff pitch to Ortiz.
Breaking ball, it looked like it was up. Might have been able to get him there had it been down. It's one thing we've noticed about Hansen, though, Boog, is he's not afraid to throw his breaking ball in hitters' counts.
Worked especially well against the Yankees. Saw 3-1 curveballs, 3-1 sliders. Got him with a fastball. That one at 94. For Hansen, his first strikeout of the afternoon, and there's one away.
Brian McCann wanted a fastball away. That's exactly what he got. Pitch was up a little bit, but he couldn't catch up to it. Didn't have the luxury of laying off that pitch on a 3-2 count. But again, the fewer 3-2 counts Hansen goes to, the better off he's going to be, especially if he's still not feeling well. That's the third one already.
Ball and no strikes to the 37-year-old catcher Jason Varitek. Lives in the offseason in Sewanee. He's a big star locally at Georgia Tech. Played on that team along with Nomar Garcia-Parra and Jay Payton that lost in the College World Series championship game. I don't remember the school they lost to. Maybe I'll go look it up. Joe, do you know off the top of your head?
Might have been Oklahoma.
Right.
Is that 94?
Yeah. Sounds right. Russ Ortiz, Mark Redmond. Was Greg Norton on that team?
I don't think Greg was, but I think the Miners were. Ryan Miner, Damon Miner.
Right. Here's a 2-1. And again, 94 with the heater, blew it past it.
Jason's hitting pretty well lately. His average going up some, and he's 3 for 13 in this series, but he's got to do a few things to help catch up to fastballs now with getting a little bit older, and one of those things is opening up his stance and trying to help get the barrel of the bat to the ball.
Check swing tapper, that one off the plate as Hansen will gather it in. Throws him out.
Now that was kind of funny. I mean, Varitek didn't have any idea where the ball went, and then Brian McCann is almost racing him down the line, almost escorting him to first base, or either that or trying to screen him from seeing where the ball went. Varitek can't find it. McCann can see it. Now watch it. He'll just kind of shadow him down the line a little bit.
Same thing happened, I think it was yesterday, to Kelly Johnson, where he hit a tapper off the plate and couldn't locate the baseball. Kelly, as you mentioned, getting a start today. He's a guy that struggles with cramps on the real hot days. Got to be very careful about hydrating. Pitch missing to Ellsbury, and again, Tommy Hansen falling behind. So Hansen has pitched well. He hasn't given up a hit. He's walked one. But 34 pitches, he'd like to be a little more efficient and not fall behind 2-0, 2-1 before getting after guys. I'm sure that's what Roger McDowell's thinking.
25, 26 pitches at this point you'd be very happy with. Not 35 or 36. If that's the way it goes this inning. 36 would be the least. Ellsbury's got a sore elbow. You can see it wrapped up. Kept him out of game 1 of this series.
Left field, Anderson was played towards the line, and Tommy Hansen gets them 1-2-3. We're midway in the second, and the Braves lead. Is brought to you in part by AirTran Airways, by Sherwin-Williams, by Acura, by Carrabba's Italian Grill, by Verizon Wireless, and by Dodge. Back here at Turner Field, see some of those retired numbers, including Henry Aaron coming up. Greg Maddux going to have his number retired.
July 17th against the Mets.
That'll be right after the All-Star break. Brad Penny back to work facing Garrett Anderson. Garrett's been swinging the bat better. Had a double against Papelbon in the 9th yesterday, but the Braves couldn't bring him home and lost 1-0.
Had some good swings at Papelbon. Had some extra base hits. I just can't parlay it into a come from behind victory against him.
You see how hot Anderson has been, and you know, despite the fact that he has gotten older and you've seen the numbers decline, the one thing he can still do is turn on a fastball. Left field, Jason Bay started back. And that's the first out of the inning, 1 down.
So we heard from Mark Kotze in Braves Live today when he was talking to Jerome Jurunovich about you guys having dinner last night. Some of the old Marlins got together. You must have had a good time.
Yeah, it was nice. Absolutely. Mark Kotze and Mike Lowell as well. Dave O'Brien, who broadcasts with the Boston Red Sox now. It's interesting, the connection with the Red Sox to the Marlins. Obviously, John Henry, who is the principal owner for the Red Sox, used to own the Marlins, but Kotze played there. Brad Penny, who's on the mound, played there. Josh Beckett played there. I mean, you go back and think about Brad Penny, A.J. Burnett, Josh Beckett. They've had some pretty good arms run through that place.
Not too bad. The guys that are there right now aren't too shabby either.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like Josh Johnson would fit right in with that group, don't you think?
Uh-huh.
Kochman rips that one left center field. And off the base of the wall. Casey towards second. His 18th double of the year. That leads the team, and with one out, a man in scoring position.
He's had a good homestand. After coming back from that injury, he was a little bit slow to come around from the leg injury, but he's beginning to heat up. Another high hanging breaking ball. That's very similar to the one that Chipper hit out for the homer. Casey now 7 for 22 on the homestand.
So a man in scoring position for Francoeur. And he gets a first pitch fastball right there at 94. Bobby Cox and the Braves trying to salvage the finale here against Boston. We said this would be a tough stretch, and it has been. Braves now 2-6 so far against the Red Sox, Yankees, and the Red Sox again. And the Phillies will be coming to town on Tuesday.
The hard part, and I guess if you take it a couple of series before that, Boog, is that leading up to that, if you'd taken care of business against Baltimore and Cincinnati, the damage wouldn't be quite so great.
No question, but you lost both those series.
Yeah.
And here you are. Oh, up and in. Get him on the helmet.
Yeah.
Francoeur's down, and Varitek helping him up. That looked like they may have gotten him right on the front of the helmet.
Yeah, but it was a glancing blow. It wasn't like it hit and just stopped or bounced back to the pitcher. Not that that'll make you feel any better, but certainly doesn't do quite as much damage. Yeah, that skipped right off the A, looked like.
Wow.
Thank goodness Jeff turned away from it and not into it.
And kind of tucked his head down, too.
Diori Hernandez has played the last 3 days for Escobar, and he has been ultra aggressive at the plate. I love the way he's swinging the bat. 2 for 6 in this series.
Brunel sitting it out.
Nate McLouth, by the way, they don't think his hamstring injury is a serious one, but as you know, Bobby Cox likes to err on the side of caution when it comes to hamstrings, so he's not in there again today. And with a day off tomorrow, that's probably a wise move, and hopefully Nate will be ready to go against the Phillies Tuesday night.
Yeah, he told me he felt good about Tuesday. Then he gets a strikeout, second of the afternoon, 2 down. And they need Nate McLouth. One of the things that's tough, they got him because he is a good two-way player defensively and offensively. But Joe, he'd started to heat up, and a team that's struggling to score runs, they needed him because he was really starting to get into a groove.
Yeah, I agree. They do miss him. Gregor had a couple of hits yesterday, and that helped fill the void. Hopefully Blanco can have a good day again today. Blanco's had some good at-bats against the Red Sox, dating back to that game he started in right field last Sunday.
Hit some balls hard. Tommy Hansen, late swing, look out.
That one just cleared the fence over there that was right behind the on-deck circle, and very little time for anybody to react and get out of the way, but everybody seems to be okay.
Look at that, 96, and you could hear Brad Penny grunting. When he was with the Marlins in 2003, he would check the radar gun a lot, and it would frustrate Jack McKeon, the manager, to the point that Jack had them turn the radar gun off for about 3 straight starts when he was out there. He would throw and look and throw and look.
I love that.
Boucher that Pedroia collects, throws flat-footed in time to get the pitcher. Braves with a double and a hit batter lead 2, and they lead. Nothing. I'd love to say a picture-perfect day, but it's hot and humid. Let's be honest. I'm just keeping it real. It's the VCast Music with Rhapsody. Know your music getting from Verizon Wireless. What Braves player enjoys listening to all his favorite Mark Anthony songs right in his wireless phone? Stick around. We'll tell you in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Joe Simpson, who's Mark Anthony married to?
Jennifer Lopez.
Well played, sir. You finally got that subscription to Us Magazine I've been begging you to get, haven't you?
No, I just got my renewal.
Here's Nick Green. Former Atlanta Brave, Georgia native. He's got a twin brother, correct?
Yes.
He was walking around the clubhouse yesterday, and different players were shouting, "Hey, there's a guy that looks like Nick Green in the players' parking lot." He's done a very good job for them.
He played junior college baseball for Hal Galima, the stat man for TBS. He was coaching in those days. I was the pitching coach.
Hal working today on the TBS broadcast. There he is. Mr. Stats. I stole a couple of notes from him yesterday.
Yeah, good pitching coach.
Loves the game.
Just amazing. Not just what he knows in terms of his research and stuff, but just how his passion for the game is 100%. He loves being at the ballpark, loves the Braves, for the Braves to win.
Line drive caught by Chipper at third. That was hit on the button.
Brad Penny looks like he came to the ballpark after doing a little steer wrestling earlier this morning. Got up, bulldogged a few steers, and then came to the park to pitch. Swing hard in case you hit it, and he did.
2 down at Pedroia up here. Pedroia was the MVP in the American League last year. The season before that, he was the Rookie of the Year. He had 54 doubles last season and 17 homers. Right now, 16 two-base hits and 2 homers.
And lately it's been a struggle for him, and the Braves have handled him real well. He's just 4 for 21 in the 2 series. Not that you can ever take away the 2 seasons he's had back-to-back, but the knock on him in the minor leagues was that he was not a guy who would make adjustments, that he would have a hard time hitting in the major leagues, per the scouting reports, because he wanted to be a power hitter and a pull hitter.
Let's see, our Firestone leaderboard's got the 4th best interleague average since last year. Roller up along first, over the bag, fair ball. Kochman takes it. Wow, did that have some funny spin. Pedroia retired. Hansen gets him 1-2-3 again. Jones solo homer. And welcome back to VCast Music with Rhapsody. Know your music getting from Verizon Wireless. We asked you earlier what Braves player listens to Mark Anthony on his wireless phone.
I'm going Gregor Blanco.
Chino Carajilla, Braves bench coach. Bunted to first. Big Papi bobbles, safe at first. Gregor Blanco. If he had fielded it cleanly, he would have gotten them. They're going to say E1. E3, beg your pardon.
Got in a rush to tag him. He had plenty of time, too. Gregor bunted the ball hard, figuring he could win a foot race if he could make Papi come off the bag some, but didn't have to worry about it after Ortiz took it off the heel of the glove and whoop. Good start to the inning. Take advantage.
Absolutely. Youkilis creeping in at third. The Braves now 1 for 28 with runners on base in this series. And 0 for 19 with men in scoring position. Fair ball. Varitek to second for one. That's all they get.
That was a room service bounce for Jason Varitek, to be sure. Hit the plate. He came out and got it before it had a chance to bounce and come back foul. Good quickness there by the veteran catcher. Let's see if the Braves play it safe here with Kelly at first, or if they send him trying to get him into scoring position.
First one to Chipper missing. Again, a rare home run for Atlanta. The Braves 13th in the National League out of 16 teams. He had homers, 14th in slugging. And it's been hard to put up the crooked number. How about our Air Tran? How far did it fly? Home run. Chipper Jones. What do you got, Joe Simpson?
385 feet. Right over Brad Penny on the scoreboard anyway. That's our Air Tran. How far did it fly? Home run.
Laser Baker on the job. Laser Baker's our Hal Galima.
He is.
Well, I don't think Hal has a laser.
No. The technology side right here next to us.
No, there's no question. That's not even to get into the pointing apparatuses that he has.
He's a tool man.
Yeah, he is. Three and one with McCann waiting. Braves are running a couple of hits. Red Sox no hits so far. Penny back to work. Kelly goes. That's a strike. Throw to second and a stolen base. So a rare stolen base for the Braves, who came into this afternoon last in the league in stolen bases.
And only the third of the year for Kelly Johnson. Part of the reason because he's, quite frankly, hasn't been getting on base enough. He's played by Nick Cheetah, going into center field.
On the ground, Nick Green will look at third but go to first, and there's two away. By the way, I beg your pardon, the Braves are actually 14th in the league in stolen bases. Both the Brewers and the Nationals have one fewer stolen base than Atlanta.
Who? The Brewers and who?
And the Nationals. Makes some sense. I mean, the Nationals don't possess a ton of speed. You got the guys up top and Dunn and Johnson that are, you know, more station to station guys.
Both those teams hit a lot of homers.
No question.
So they don't have to run much.
And Ken Mock, I would say, is influenced by Billy Beane and the risk versus reward of the stolen base, risking an out for a base, and puts the red light on a lot with the Brewers, does Mock.
See what kind of pitch he throws here. Interesting, and only in that it's 2-0. Does he give in to Brian and throw a fastball for a strike? No, breaking ball. And asking Chad Fairchild if that was low because he thought it was a strike.
Popped up mile high, foul off third. And Youkilis right there in the coaching box. McCann retired. And that's that. End of 3, Braves lead. Nothing as we go to the 4th. And Joe, as you know, on a hot, steamy summer afternoon, the 4th inning means it's time for the duck.
Bring him on.
Aflac trivia question time. Here we go. Who are the only 2 active managers with multiple World Series championships and 0 Manager of the Year awards?
Does Terry Francona fit that?
I think he might. Probably a good place to start.
Yeah.
What about Cito Gaston?
I like that one too. Wouldn't be Leland, wouldn't be La Russa. They've won that award.
J.D. Drew and lines one out there left field. Anderson makes a nice running grab.
9 pitches last inning, 1 pitch this inning. Keep it on a roll here, Tommy Hansen, and get big old Brad Penny back out there.
And I know Tommy's command hasn't been great, but the other thing that happens when you face a team like this one, they're going to make you work. You know, it's not just the pitcher participating in throwing a lot of pitches. The players do as well in the late stages yesterday. Youkilis tripled after an 11-pitch at bat. And he's a guy that makes it difficult. In fact, Kevin Youkilis sees more pitches per plate appearance than anybody in the majors. 4.5 pitches per PA.
I'm not surprised after watching him for 6 games, but he's going to have to swing the bat now because Tommy's put him in an 0-2 hole.
Here we go. Tried to expand with a slider. We've seen both breaking pitches today. You think the curve is the better pitch of the 2?
I like the slider.
Okay. Fly ball right field. Jeff drifting to the line. And there's 2 outs. Tommy Hansen has been sharp here this afternoon. Red Sox still without a hit here today. Folks, be here when the Braves take on the Phillies and look to gain ground on the race for the NL East title June 30th and July 1st and 2nd. On July 2nd, don't miss the Braves pre-4th of July festivities, including post-game fireworks. Get tickets now at braves.com/tickets.
Seven fly ball outs. Got the line drive to Chipper. That's not unusual for Tommy Hansen. He's going to be a fly ball guy and a strikeout guy. I walked in with him when we got to the stadium at about the same time, and he didn't have a very pleasant look on his face. He wasn't feeling good. He told me his throat was sore, glands were swollen.
Line drive, softly hit, and that'll nestle into the grass in left center field. Sounded like he broke his bat. First hit of the day for the Red Sox.
Good place to be today up there on the concourse in the shade, although there are a few clouds overhead right now that are helping out.
Cooling it down a little bit as the sun has gotten hidden. Ortiz struck out his first time, the only strikeout of the game for Hansen. There's that curveball.
Here's where you'd like to see him be aggressive, I think, Boog. Yesterday, and you understood why, Vasquez walked Youkilis, then he walked Ortiz on some questionable calls, granted, but then it was Kotze that came up and did the damage, and it was a 1-0 ball game because of trying to be careful to the guys that you worry about the most in the Red Sox lineup. But you're up 1-0, go right after him. You got good stuff today.
Hansen takes his time, and he went too far. That was the slider. It's 0-2.
Boy, that was a hard biting pitch. That's what makes him so good. This pitch to left-handed hitters, where they go right over the top of it. They see it as a fastball coming out of his hand, and then it bites right in on their shoe tops.
And there was nothing Ortiz could do. Bay is at first, 2 down. Jason Bay has swiped 5 out of 6.
That's one thing that surprised me about both the Yankees and the Red Sox is how much they run. Quite a few stolen bases for both teams. Struck him out last time up, remember, first time up today against Hansen with a good fastball away from him on a 3-2 count. Might see them go back out there, maybe a little off the plate to see if he'll offer.
Oh, 2. Good stop by McCann. Got that one kind of wedged between his arm and the chest protector.
That's where he wanted it. Watch him. He was patting the ground with his glove just before the pitch was delivered. He wanted this in the dirt, and Hansen threw it a little short of the plate, which was not exactly where they wanted it. Right here. See him tapping the ground? So Brian was even lower than normal and in a great place there to block it.
There goes the runner. Pitch is fought off foul. Tommy Hansen, just 22 years old. He'll turn 23 at the end of August. California native, born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Braves got him in the 22nd round in the 2005 draft. And this year, thought to be the second best pitching prospect in the minors behind David Price. And most scouts you talk to love him, love the stuff. We get a chance to get to know these guys a little bit more and more. And, you know, it reminds me a little bit, both he and Medlin, of Francoeur and McCann in terms of both kids when they've come up. They're the type of kids that when they meet you, they look you right in the eye. Every time you see them, they will engage you. And, yeah, just handle themselves very well.
And came up together, so they're pretty close.
1-2, a check swing. Did he go? And Marty Foster says no.
Good pitch. Not a strike, but a good try to get him to go up the ladder and chase something, and he almost did.
I didn't think he went there.
I did not either. I'll agree with you on that one.
Here comes the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Nope. I lied. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Kind of across the field, left to right, maybe even in a little bit towards the first baseline. Line drive, left field, and that's a base hit. Bay was on the go, and he'll make his way to third. And they're at the corners.
This ball was not hard hit, but a nice serve by Ortiz to left. Bay had not yet gotten to second base. Garrett Anderson, however, made no attempt to try to cut him down. You got to remember who the batter runner is, too. Ortiz can't run out of sight in 2 days. And even if you try to get Bay here, had plenty of opportunity. Chances of Ortiz trying to go to second base are almost nil. Got to be a little more aggressive on that.
Bobby Cox looks on. Roger McDowell out on the mound. Got to figure in part just giving Tommy Hansen a breather. If you're just joining us, bothered by the flu, Braves were unsure if he was actually going to start here today. Tommy asked about 1 million times by writers, electronic media members, how do you feel? And he kind of gave the okay signal, but not feeling 100%. He has pitched very well, but on a hot, sticky day, when you're not feeling so good, the conditions can't make it easier.
No, and Ortiz really made him work there. He had him 0-2, and he was able to battle back, get the count even before getting the base hit. He's getting ahead of the hitters. Remember the 2-out rally here started with that broken bat Ric Flair single to center.
Woo. They're at the corners. Braves leading a Chipper Jones solo homer in the first.
Yes, he did.
Marty Foster agrees with Joe Simpson. 0-2.
Couldn't stop that one. Head of the bat got out there, and that's hard to stop. You got to be mighty strong.
Let's see what Hansen goes with here. And will Varitek get a strike? He does not, and would not chase. Got the good folks following us on our Facebook page, Fox Sports South and Sports South. And after the Ric Flair comment, we have a number of woos being put up
good
on the wall.
16-time world champion.
Hansen deals, and Varitek lays off. It's even up.
What's our count up to? How many folks do we have on now? Do you know?
13,282.
How about that? That's great.
So if you're our friend, tell your friends.
Yeah.
And then we'll be your friend. I think something like that.
Forever.
That's correct.
Best friends forever.
Well, from 0-2 to filled up. So Baratek delivering a tough at bat. Ellsbury would be next if Baratek reaches.
Trying to put him away as they did Big Poppy with that slider, but he fouled off a couple of them. Ortiz did before he got his base hit.
Payoff pitch. Wow. Look at McCann. Brian McCann had taken 2 steps and was ready to roll the ball out to the mound. And now they're loaded.
I don't know what was wrong with that, Boog. Don't blame Brian. He was just kind of waiting for the call that didn't come. I'm sure Brian got an earful from Chad Fairchild, but it looked like Fairchild missed that one. Not a good time to be missing them. All this starting with 2 out. Kind of like the Red Sox rally yesterday when they got their own run, their solo run. 2 out walks and then a single.
Yeah, it was ironic because they had gotten the leadoff man on the first 4 innings. And the Red Sox didn't do anything yesterday. Then in the 6th, first 2 guys out. And that's how they ended up scoring. Bounding ball right side. Johnson. And Tommy gets out of it. Red Sox leave them loaded. It's 1-0 Braves. By your local Ford dealers, by AT&T, by the Georgia Lottery, and by Honda. Back here at Turner Field in Atlanta, it's Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. Atlanta on top 1-0. Chipper Jones solo homer in the first inning. And that little fella's happy, if not a little hot. Brad Penny back to work. And the pitch is high. Joe Simpson, 31 people, by the way, since the last time we updated folks, have joined us as friends.
Good.
So our BFFs continue to rise.
Good.
Garrett Anderson is 0 for 1. And rips that one right field. See ya! Home run, Garrett Anderson. His solo jack, number 4.
All is forgiven. Looked like a high fastball, didn't it, Boog?
Yep.
As you said, he can turn on a fastball, and he can especially turn on a high fastball. Really good hands. Let's see the location. Supposed to be outside, but it was belt high and out over the middle. 10th home run allowed by Penny this year. Hands. Head stays still. The barrel's the one that's moving. Jumped off his bat.
Garrett Anderson's been swinging better and better. And they need the power from him for sure. One of the things you can see with Penny, and I'm told this has happened in other starts, first couple innings, he'll be 90, 91, and then slowly but surely it starts to climb and climb. And we've seen more fastballs at 95 and 96 of late.
He has a very interesting split, too, I think, between pre-All-Star game and post with his career.
Very good before the break, I believe it is.
Yes. 60 and 43 is his career record before the All-Star break coming into this season, and just 2 games over 500 after the break. And he's a very good April starter.
Yeah, he's been an All-Star twice. Jeff was hit in the helmet his first time up.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that, rumor or not, there was discussion, or it was being written, that earlier this year the Red Sox had an interest in Jeff Francoeur, and the Red Sox were talking about a Brad Penny for Jeff Francoeur deal, among others.
There's been a lot of talk that the Red Sox would move Penny. Now with Matsuzaka on the disabled list for Terry Francona, that would seem doubtful. And remember, they have Clay Buchholz at AAA, and he's been dealing.
He's ready, too. Ready to come back. And Smoltz is off the DL. John can't wait for his next start to get the bad taste of that first inning against Washington out of his mouth. It was not a good start.
Bounding ball up the middle. Nick Green behind the bag. Spins, throws. And Big Poppy couldn't dig it out. To say E6.
The throw would have had him. It was in the dirt. Good throw would have had him, so that was the reason for that, I guess.
And I would say there's a subtlety. Kevin Youkilis is probably going to pick that.
Yeah. Mark Kotsay also.
So 1 out man at first as Francoeur reaches. Jeff's family, we talked about it in Boston. His dad from Western Massachusetts, grew up a huge Red Sox fan. Jeff was a big Red Sox fan. He had a Red Sox credit card that he finally got rid of before the 07 season. So, I mean, he's playing big league baseball and going out with the guys, paying for stuff, and he has a Red Sox credit card.
That's funny.
Braves with a couple of solo homers today. Chipper Jones in the first, Garrett Anderson in the fourth. One other interesting thing as far as Jeff, Joe, he was a great two-way star at football and baseball and was going to go to Clemson. Before things got rolling with the Braves to sign him, the Red Sox had a deal in place to take him the 57th overall pick. He was thought to be unsignable. And the Braves got wind of it. There he goes. Pitch was a strike, and Jeff stole it easily. And there's some of that speed that saw him possibly go to Clemson and play safety.
He's up to 5 stolen bases. And made that look easy. Good crossover step. He got a jump before Penny ever broke from his stretch. Had him read perfectly.
He's lighter than he was last year.
So the Braves heard about the possibility of the Red Sox taking him?
And then because people thought it wasn't going to happen, and they kind of had a deal set with the Red Sox. Frank Core did, and once the Braves found out, they were able then to make their move and select him in the first round, now knowing that he was signable. And the Red Sox at that 57th overall pick still ended up getting a pretty good player named John Lester.
Oh. Boo-hoo.
But I mean, for Jeff, the two teams I'm sure that he most wanted to play for, those are the two that were going after him.
Having a laugh there with Nick Green. This is where the Braves have really scuffled offensively. They're 1 for their last 31 by my count with runners on base, and 0 for their last 21 with runners in scoring position.
Wow. Popped up foul, and that one lands in the first row and back to the Braves dugout. Yuri Hernandez getting the start at shortstop. Yunel Escobar bothered by that hip flexor strain. You know, we're talking before the game with some of the Red Sox people, almost forget how he strained the hip flexor. Now 3-2. He was running down first. You saw him grab the hip flexor, but eventually after the game he confessed that he actually strained his hip flexor going through that odd routine in the on-deck circle where he jumps up and down.
Thought he'd quit that. Good battle here by Diori. You know, Hernandez was among the league leaders in the International League in hitting when he was called up, hitting in the 340s.
He's hitting 355.
355.
Pretty good.
Thanks, yeah.
On the ground, Nick Green. And they got Frank Core hung up, and he gets tagged out. 2 down.
Just a rule of thumb, if the ground ball is hit to your right, you stop. If it's hit to your left, you go. This one was to his right, but he broke, and Nick Green was going to throw him out. Jeff thought he had already thrown the ball and turned right into the tag.
Sun's back out. Tommy Hansen on that last road trip picked up his first big league hit in Cincinnati and his first big league RBI. Little flare towards right center, and it'll fall. Tommy Hansen with another hit.
Another little Ric Flair to right. I have a question for you, Boog.
Okay.
This ball drops in. J.D. Drew throws it in, but he just throws it to no one in particular. And it's coming near the bag where Diori Hernandez is standing, but Nick Green is lined up like as the relay man to third. I was wondering if Diori Hernandez could Pele that ball out into left center and then take off running. You know?
Just a little redirect?
Yeah, just and act like, oh, what was, oh, I'm sorry. Hey, go.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like the Reggie Jackson and what was it, the 77 or 8 World Series? One of those two. Gosh, Mike Winslow is good. I'm not going to call him a baseball dork, but he's hardcore.
It's close.
Yeah, he's good. Game 3. And an insulting Mike, I just forgot whether it's 77 or 78. 78.
We got in the way of the throw to first.
That's pretty good.
Threw his hind pockets out there so he could get hit by the throw.
Mike, you are the best.
I want to say Terry Tata was the umpire too, and he was not going to listen to Tommy Lasorda for very long.
Well, I mean, that's a while ago, and they had Tommy mic'd up for that. Remember that? I mean, they have the tape of him coming out and Tommy just losing his mind about Reggie kind of sticking his backside out. I mentioned Nate McLouth. More than likely it'll be Tuesday against the Phillies. He did admit there's a little bit of frustration about the fact, 50,000 people here, a lot of energy. I love playing in this setting, but got to be careful. He said if it was the World Series, yeah, I'd be out there.
You know he would be. Still a lot of baseball to be played, though, and don't want him going on the disabled list.
Hey, we got to get to the answer to our Aflac trivia question. That means the Duck comes marching in. Aflac! Thank you.
I liked your two answers.
Who are the only two active managers with multiple World Series championships and 0 Manager of the Year awards? Francona and Cito Gaston.
You just give you a couple of days off, and you come back like gangbusters,
fresh and ready to go.
Mind's cleared, ready.
A lot of meditating. The weather heats up, I heat up for the Aflac trivia question. 3-2.
Done, Tommy. Tommy forgot it was 3-2. That's all right. Saved him a sprint. Just jog if you want to.
But this is one of those spots, Joe, where not feeling good. It's hot out there. You hear Bobby Cox say it all the time. Easy, easy. How's this at bat from Gregor Blanco?
It's an excellent at bat, but I'd like for him to put this one in play to keep the pitcher from having to run wind sprints from first to second.
Fair enough.
Talked earlier about Gregor having some good at bats against the Red Sox last Sunday. Doing it again here.
Bouncer to David Ortiz, steps on the bag, and that's the inning. Braves leave a couple of men on, but Garrett Anderson, a laser to right. 2-0. Top 5 Braves lead it 2-0. On a hot, muggy afternoon in Atlanta, another star pitching performance sequence brought to you by Texaco. And Tommy Hansen continues his mastery on the hill. More good work. 4 shutout innings. He's allowed just a couple of hits and no runs allowed in his last 18 in the third.
He gets more run support per start than any other Braves pitcher so far, averaging over 7 per game. Just 2 so far today.
Braves with yesterday's loss. Javier Vazquez has now been given 3 or fewer runs of support 7 straight starts.
I don't know how he hasn't just flipped.
Yeah.
He's pitched so well, and he's got a losing record like Jurgens. Same thing.
First one to Nick Green is a strike. You know, we were talking about Mark Kotze earlier. He got a chance to play yesterday. He's part of a pretty good Red Sox bench. But in the American League, you don't use your bench all that much. And Kotze made up T-shirts, Joe, for Baldelli and Kataris, and at the time Nick Green. The T-shirts kind of with a fireman type angle. They call themselves the Rescue Squad.
Ah, I've seen those shirts, and they do look like a fireman's emblem.
And they each have their numbers. Well, here's the thing with those guys. Nick Green was one of them when Lugo was the starter. But now Nick Green's starting, so they had to adjust his shirt. It says he's retired. He's retired from the Rescue Squad.
That's great. Phillies were trailing Toronto early, but now they've taken a 5-4 lead in the 7th. Aaron Hill's hit a couple of homers for Toronto.
He's having a great year. Tommy Hansen now at 73 pitches. And he's been pretty sharp here this afternoon, despite the fact that he's been battling the flu.
I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, but if he could go the 5th and the 6th, it would set up pretty well for the bullpen.
On the infield, Kochman shading his eyes, gives way to Kelly, and Johnson makes the grab. Casey was really fighting the sun because as soon as Kelly made the call, he went sprinting out of there. So 1 up, 1 down, and our Geico quote of the day. Javier Vazquez, like I told JJ, we got to keep our heads up and keep battling. The guys are going to come out of this. TP is working hard with them. We're going to get out of this soon. Band sounds good, doesn't it? Just nice music.
Yes.
Soothing. That's 5 runs total, by the way. Hit hard, Chipper Jones. And Penny rips it past him. That's the second hard hit ball that Penny has had. They'll say E5, and that's number 13 for Chipper.
I have to look it up to see how it compares to the Phillies. Phillies, the best fielding team in baseball if you just go by errors. But Chipper and Escobar have a combined 24 errors. And I think the Phillies have 27. It's an unusually high number for Chipper at this stage of the season.
Pedroia 0 for 2. They signed Dustin Pedroia to a contract extension in the offseason. 6 years, $40.5 million. And a foul ball.
You and I a couple of weeks ago were talking about scrappy ball players. Pedroia certainly fits that mode of scrappy, although he adds to that by being a guy who can put up big numbers for a scrappy guy. He's not just a singles hitter.
Plays hard, good range at second, good hands. Takes a big old cut, but seems to be able to square the ball up a lot with that big hack. Had him fooled there, but missed with that slider. 2-2.
I'm not so sure that Pedroia was sure that wasn't a strike, and I don't know if Chad Fairchild is having some trouble calling the curveball today or not, but it seems like there have been a few that the Braves thought they'd made good pitches for.
Right side, see if they can turn it. Hernandez, 1, 2. That is big. And Tommy Hansen, help from the defense. Braves lead. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Back here at Turner Field, bottom of the fifth. Atlanta leading this one 2-0. They're playing I'll Stop the World and Melt With You by Modern English. And on a day where it's about 95 with 88% humidity or whatever, yeah, you will melt.
Got that nice 5-mile-an-hour zephyr cooling everybody off.
Absolutely.
Nobody can fan themselves like people in the South, though. I mean, I've been saying that for years. You just come to a Braves game in the summertime, day game. These people know how to fan.
There we go. And the fanning starts. Brad Penny back to work, bottom 5, and Kelly Johnson. Kelly got that 4-6-3 inning-ending double play started. I am not sure what it's going to take to get him going. I kind of scratched my head in terms of what the problem has been for Kelly Johnson. Broken bat, Penny knocks it down and throws him out.
Did you see what Brad Penny did? I mean, he stuck his foot down there to block it, almost like he knew it was just going to bounce up into his glove. Watch this. Just kind of turned his foot out a little bit, a little pirouette there. Watch his right foot.
He absolutely did that on purpose.
Yes, he did. It's like if you're shagging in the outfield and somebody gets a base hit and it comes rolling to you and you don't want to bend down to pick it up. Sometimes you can have it hit you in the foot and come right up to your glove. And then he almost handcuffed Big Papi over there.
Speaking of soccer, how about the U.S. leading Brazil 2-0?
How about it? 2-0.
2-0.
That's awesome. So happy for those guys. So now what do? Do they just like start playing spider ball? Everybody gather around the ball so nobody can get it free. Play defense.
Spider ball?
Yeah, it looks like a clump of spiders around the ball.
Did you play any soccer as a kid?
No. Both my kids did. That's where that term came from.
Spider ball?
Yeah.
Chipper, the solo homer in the first, went the other way. He had been 10 for 60 going into that at bat. A 167 average over his last 17. Ortiz handles this, beats Chipper to the base, 2 down.
Now the Red Sox just signed Brad Penny to a 1-year deal. I mean, he had a little hard time finding a job during the wintertime. His time in L.A., he went 46-33, but it ended on a downer because he had a bad year last year. Only won 6 games.
Had a bad shoulder. He only pitched 94 2/3 innings, and his ERA was over 6. Quick inning here for Penny as McCann pops it up. And Brad Penny gets the Braves in order on 6 pitches. by AirTran Airways, by Geico, by Dodge, and by Verizon Wireless. Steamy day at Turner Field. And as we go to the 6th, the Braves lead this one 2-0. J.D. Drew will stand in. Tommy Hansen's thrown 81 pitches. And Tommy continues his hot trend and going up against a couple of elite offenses. The Yankees, now the Red Sox. And hasn't given up a run to either.
Just missed with a couple of pitches off the corner. JD's been aggressive today. He's gone after a couple of pitches early in the count. Last time, the first pitch he saw.
Driven pretty well right field. Frank Horvath. Jeff back some more, and he's got it. Had him played in a perfect spot.
I thought that was going out, Boog. I don't know if the wind knocked that down a little bit or not. Of course, he hit it to the deepest part of the park on that side of the field, right in front of the Braves bullpen. Jeff never took his eyes off of it. Nice play. Just enough room for that one.
Oh, Youkilis banged that one off his foot, and ouch. Folks, Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs is hatched in theaters July 1st, the coolest comedy of the summer.
Gosh, they're getting creative with those animated features, aren't they?
Have you seen any of the Ice Age movies? Because they're pretty funny.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Previews and trailers and things like that.
I believe Ray Romano is the voice of the woolly mammoth. I think Dennis Leary is the tiger.
I mean, they've come a long way since. I thought Bambi was pretty good.
Back in the day, absolutely. Yeah. They did a nice job animating Bambi, sure. You're still carrying around your rotary cell phone?
No. My Mickey Mouse watch died a couple of years ago.
Right. Youkilis in a 1-2 hole. Tommy Hansen in command today. He's given up just 2 hits. Oh, you kidding me?
Tanya, he's having trouble with that curveball. Chad Fairchild is having a hard time calling that pitch a strike today, and I'm not sure why. That is not high.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to go all homerific on you, but
it's okay.
Towards the right field corner, slicing, and a foul ball. Tommy, his last start against the Yankees, 5 1/3, 4 hits, no runs. Against Cincinnati, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs.
Needs 2 more outs and can probably turn it over to the pen.
By the way, a multi-platinum band, the All-American Rejects, will perform a free post-game concert Saturday, July 18th, presented by Coca-Cola. Come see the Braves take on the Mets and stay for the All-American Rejects live in concert. For game tickets, Braves.com/tickets. And again, this is what Kevin Youkilis does. He got the break on the 2-strike curveball that wasn't called a strike by Fairchild, and now fouling off pitches and fouling off pitches and making it tough on Hansen.
He will have had to throw at least 5 more pitches to Youkilis than he should have.
Popped him up. Shallow center. Blanco in. So 2 down now. And Tommy Hansen will go to work against Jason Bay, who's got one of the 2 Boston hits here this afternoon. I mean, how about what we've seen so far in this series? A total of 8 runs scored. Is this the best team you've seen?
Red Sox? I think they are. I'm still a little on the fence. I mean, that sounds kind of silly because they've got a great record, but I haven't seen the Dodgers play to say I like them better. I'd like this team better than the Yankees.
Very good offensive team. Those numbers back it up. And then consider for a moment they have the #1 bullpen ERA in the majors.
I think that sets them apart from everybody that I've seen so far. Their bullpen's awesome, and they run some big arms at you.
I mean, who's the mop-up guy? Everybody coming in besides Okajima is throwing a bazillion.
Mm-hmm.
And Okajima has been one of the best non-closing relievers in baseball over the course of the last 2.5 years.
And you mentioned the name Daniel Bard to any of the scouts, and their eyeballs pop out of their head. Young man who is in the upper 90s with a beautiful long kind of arm action, real smooth.
Two and two now on Bay. Braves lead it by a couple, and Hansen back to work. Got him. Tommy Hansen, just his second strikeout of the afternoon. He has fired 6 shutout innings at the Boston Red Sox. We're midway in inning number 6, 2-0.
Train today. In the second inning, Jeff Francoeur got one right off the front of the helmet from Brad Penny. Penny, fortunately, was okay. You can see he was ducking down and away from the pitch that saved him a little bit. That helped some. This is Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost brewed Coors Light.
So a shot at Jeff Francoeur in the hole, as they say. We got the guy at the plate, the guy on deck, and Francoeur's in the hole.
Don't hear that much anymore.
No, you don't, do you?
No, but I wish you'd kind of pick it up.
Okay.
Start firing it out there and get people used to it again.
Garrett Anderson, 1 out of 2. Big hit, solo homer, a line drive to lead off the fourth. And that one over the right field scoreboard.
Home run was on a pitch that was supposed to be out away from him, but had more the inner third of the plate, somewhere around the belt, and belted.
Three and one now. Garrett has that interesting timing mechanism that you've touched on, just that he's got his hands just very quiet, and then he kind of almost pumps them once against his shoulder, his chest.
Yeah, it's very slight. And it doesn't have to be much. I think sometimes guys who think they've got to, as they say, load up, have too much of a hitch in their swing. They're trying to do too much with their hands before they start their swing, and Garrett's is just very subtle.
Penny's 3-2. Garrett Anderson continues to swing the bat well in interleague play. He had been hitting over 340 in interleague action coming in. Former American leaguer. 3-2. Line drive slicing towards left center. And that one rolling to the wall. And the interleague success for Garrett Anderson continues, a leadoff double.
Wearing the Red Sox out, too. That's 10 for 21 against them. Had the double yesterday in the ninth inning. Splits the gap in left center here. Extra run would be nice if Casey can get him over.
Kochman 1 out of 2 with a double. That was pitch number 96 from Brad Penny.
No one throwing in the Atlanta bullpen, but I think there was just a call made. And the Braves pen now is going to stir. Just in case they get down to the pitcher's spot here, they might pinch hit for Hansen.
Ground ball left side, and Kochman grounds out. One down, that runner staying at second. Time now for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Use a programmable thermostat correctly to save money and energy. Go to GeorgiaPower.com for more energy saving tips. Georgia Power, a Southern company. Francoeur's been hit by a pitch. He's also reached on an error and stolen a base. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for the Braves. 0-2-2 for the Red Sox.
That was a good pitch for a guy who's got to be running a little low on Petro right now, but 95 at the knees on the corner. Eric O'Flaherty, you see, beginning to scratch a toehold in the Braves bullpen.
I just said Daniel Bard is up in the Red Sox pen. Bounder to the right side. Ortiz gets it to Penny, and Francoeur is out on the play. Anderson third.
Do you think Terry Francona was holding his breath on that toss?
A lot.
Yeah. Big Papi got to it, gloved it just fine, but don't know about the throw. Two big guys there. Mercy.
Golly.
Brad Penny was hat off. He's trying to get some air right now.
John Farrell out there to join the conversation. That was pitch number 100 as Bard continues to loosen.
John Farrell's a big guy too.
Now look at they got the meeting on the backside of the mound, but Kevin Youkilis is over there at third. Do you think Uke just wants some time to himself? Like, what's happening in that spot right there?
There are so many big people standing on the mound. There can't be a whole lot of. There's not a lot of oxygen over there right now.
Not enough room for him.
No.
All right, fair enough.
No.
Pedroia comes in. Green comes in. Ortiz was there with Varitek, the pitcher, the pitching coach, and Youkilis said, "You know what? I
don't have anything to offer to this conversation.
Just need a little time to myself."
Huh?
Jury 0 for 2. And he's got Garrett Anderson at third. The Braves trying to get an add-on run, leading 2-0. Solo homers by Chipper Jones and Garrett Anderson in the first and the fourth. Braves with an off day tomorrow. And then the Phillies will come to town. And the Braves readjusting the rotation. Lowe, Jurgens, and Vasquez will go in the 3-game set against the Phils. And right now the Phillies have Blanton and Hamels the first two and have not announced their starter for game 3.
Roy Hernandez here needs to put this ball in play. Anything but a strikeout, just to put a little pressure on the defense and try to get that runner in from third base. Hit it on the ground, maybe it'll find a hole somewhere.
Matt Diaz has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle.
117 pitches is the season high for Brad Penny, and he's at 104 now. He was originally drafted by the Diamondbacks in the 5th round back in '96. Went to Florida for Matt Manti. Remember him?
That one popped foul and out of play.
Actually, Florida got about 4 players for Manti, didn't they?
Yeah, Vladimir Nunez was in that deal as well.
And Abraham Nunez, I think they got 2 Nunezes.
You're right.
Or a lot of people would say Nunez.
That is correct. Here's a 1-2. And a one-hopper to Green, who fields and fires him out. Braves don't do anything with the leadoff double. End of 6, 2-0. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. Hope you're staying cool. How about our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot? Tommy Hansen hitting the jackpot. Now 20 and a third innings of scoreless baseball.
And seriously, folks, I mean, they were talking about sending Chris Medlin out to warm up alongside Tommy today in case Tommy, after 5 minutes or so, couldn't go. And he gutted it out on a hot, humid day. 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball. You got to like that. He showed you something today.
Ortiz, Varitek, and Ellsbury scheduled here in the 7th, and our Sherwin-Williams pitching change. Braves now with a couple of left-handers down there. O'Flaherty, Boone, Logan, along with Mike Gonzalez.
And a lefty, a switch hitter, and then another lefty due up this inning. That's why O'Flaherty's in there.
Lifted in the air, Chipper and Hernandez. It'll be the shortstop on the grass. One up, one down, folks. The Greg Maddux Hall of Fame induction ceremony and luncheon will take place Friday, July 17th. It's been moved to the Omni Hotel to accommodate the high demand. Tickets now available. 404-614-2310. Order your tickets today. 404-614-2310 as Doggy will go into the Braves Hall of Fame.
It's going to be a great day because you also want to come to the game that night and get here early. It's against the Mets, and there's going to be a big on-field presentation, of course, for retiring his number. It's just going to be a great day all around. I guess you could say he's the second guy to go in the Hall of Fame from the glory days and the run that began in 1991. David Justice was the first. Flaherty doing a good job, like Hansen before him, of getting ahead.
Yeah, McCann took that one off the foot, I believe. Those shin guards do give him a little bit of protection on the feet. I believe there's a strap that he slides over. Yeah, sure. You see the shin guards, that strap of elastic that goes actually around his cleat. There you go. So, I mean, he's pretty well covered. Hit hard off the glove of Kelly Johnson. It'll trickle into right. And Varitek's trying for second. And he'll make it. And that's on Jeff Rancourt.
I don't know if Kelly got the wind knocked out of him or not. I want to put it on both of them a little bit here, Boog. I mean, you dive, you knock it, get a little bit of it with your glove. Jeff's playing deep, trying to prevent an extra base hit, leading by 2 here late in the ball game. I think Kelly hurt himself a little bit when he dove for this ball. That's why he didn't get up. That's not like him to lie there and watch it roll away from him. Jeff had so much farther to go to get that. Give Varitek credit. Right in the scoring position. Tying run to the plate.
One more look. But one issue as far as Rancourt, Kelly goes down, and Jeff kind of put on the burners there.
Yeah, he did.
The second part of it. He wasn't coming after it hard the whole time.
You're right. I didn't see that before.
Don't know that he would have gotten it.
But it's another case where if you are coming 100%, a lot of times for the base runner,
Kelly bobbles, everybody's safe.
A lot of times when a base runner sees you coming in hard to get the ball, it's going to immediately make him have second thoughts about trying to advance.
Good point. Been a sloppy defensive game. That's an error on Kelly Johnson, number 6.
He had it, dropped it, had it, bobbled it.
He kind of got his feet tangled up. Watch before he even gets to the ball. He stumbles just a touch there. Bobby Cox out of the dugout and makes the call for Peter Moylan. We'll take a break. It's still 2-0 Braves. Top 7, and with one out, they're at the corners. John Chompy and Joe Simpson with you on a hot Sunday afternoon. And our Sherwin-Williams pitching change as Peter Moylan comes in to AC/DC. Boys from Australia, and Peter Moylan now on for the 40th time.
Well, I don't know if he's AC/DC, which battery he's got working, but it's been a good one, because he's been outstanding. He hasn't given up a run since the 13th of June at Baltimore, and only one walk over his last 6 outings.
They had Mike Lowell in the on-deck circle. They just pulled him back, and Marcotte now in the on-deck circle. So Nick Green will stand in. You know Moylan would love a ground ball here.
Nick Green knows the scouting report on Peter Moylan. He's seen him pitch, and my guess is he's going to be trying hard not to pull off the ball and try to take advantage of that hole on the right side. Especially if Peter throws him that slider. Veritek's hustle in getting to second base after that ball went off Kelly's hand probably prevented a double play, because Ellsbury's ground ball to Kelly might have been a tailor-made double play had Veritek not been on second.
Let's see if they can turn this one. Kelly himself. 1, 2. That is huge as Moylan pumps his fist and makes his way off the field. Peter Moylan comes in, does the job, and the Braves get out of it. Let's stretch, shall we? And Jason Hayward, Braves first-round pick in 2007. And he's been doing a little bit of everything this year, playing some good defense and swinging a hot bat. And he has been selected to play in the 2009 Futures game at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Braves' number 2 prospect behind Tommy Hansen. And, depending on the list you look at, he is considered a top 20 minor league prospect right now.
He's doing everything they expected him to do. I think probably a little more. That's a pretty advanced league at Myrtle Beach. 28 strikeouts, 19 walks, an on-base percentage of .372, OPS of .910. He's only made 3 errors. Check his stolen bases. 4 stolen bases, 4 for 4.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Myrtle Beach is not considered a real good hitter's park, is it?
It's a big park, big high fence, and it faces an odd direction. I think it faces kind of southeast, so there's kind of a prevailing wind blowing in all the time off the ocean and into the hitters' faces.
Good crowd here today. Sherwin-Williams pitching change, and Takashi Saito will take over. Saito, like Penny, a former Dodger. They signed Brad Penny for $5 million. And this guy was the closer last year until he got hurt, and Jonathan Broxton took over. So they were fine to let him go, the Dodgers were, because they had Broxton. But still, talking about a guy that before last year had 39 saves and the year before 24 saves, has a career big league ERA coming into this season in 3 years of 1.95.
Goodness. Man.
245 strikeouts in 189 and 2/3 innings. He's been a really good major league reliever for the last 3 years. And he'll face Matt Diaz.
One of the things that's helped Boston, certainly in this series, is their starters has been that their starting pitchers have not walked anybody. Beckett, 7 innings, no walks. I think Wakefield walked 1 in 6 innings yesterday. No walks today for Penny, although he did hit a batter. They're making the Braves put the ball in play.
Diaz bounces it to Green at short. And 1 up and 1 down.
Great job by Peter Moylan, though, coming in and getting that double play grounder. Couldn't have been better than to bounce it right up the middle to the bag at second for Kelly Johnson.
They signed Takashi Saito, by the way, to a year and $1.5 million. And a 2010 club option.
See, that's a steal, but it's something like I think you talked about earlier today. Saito, Penny, Smoltz. They felt like because of what they had invested in those guys, if they got one of the 3 to really return to form, that was a bonus. And it's quite possible they could get all 3. They've already got 2 of them working well, Saito and Penny.
For a combined $6.5 million. Gregor Blanco starting in center field again. Nate McLeod injured his hamstring trying to bunt against Hideki Okajima on Friday. Got some of those micro tears in the hammy. A strained hamstring.
And I believe he said that it was the first time that's ever happened to him.
I asked him if he ever had hamstring problems. He said absolutely not. Oh, and 2. just changed Jeff Francoeur's 4th inning error on a ground ball. They charge the error to Nick Green. They've given Francoeur a hit.
And the thing about that play, I know that Nick threw it low, and I said a good throw gets him, but a good throw would have been an impeccable play, considering he had to go up the middle and do a 360 turn.
There you go. The 1-2.
It was that play Friday night. Nate McLeod tried to bunt his way aboard, and he looked like he was getting down the line just fine. He had a little stumble right there about halfway, and then pulled up just as he got to the bag. It was a scary look right there when we saw him pull up after he got across first.
Swing and a miss, and Blanco down on strikes. I'm really not trying to go over the top, and I'm not going to say make excuses or put a Band-Aid on it, but Gregor Blanco's 0 for 4 today, but he's seen 23 pitches. So in part, his job is to get on base, but as far as a percentage of the pitches that have been thrown today by Red Sox hitters, he's seen almost 20% of it. So he's helped to make their guys work.
That's a great point, Boog. And one of the things we talked about at the beginning of the show today was hoping to have short innings if you're Tommy Hansen, and hoping Brad Penny might melt by leaving him out there a while. So if you're going to have an 0 for day, that's the way to do it.
Make him work. Fouled off a bunch of pitches. Kelly's 0 for 3.
Kelly victimized by that good skate save by Brad Penny his last time up, when Penny just kind of turned his foot a little sideways to let the ball ramp right up to his glove.
The 1-1.
Now there are some good sun hats. One already in her seat, so there's a 3-fer.
There's a little bit of the flying nun there.
Sure
happening.
is. That breeze gets up, heads up.
Well, now 2-2 to Kelly Johnson. Kelly with 5 home runs. He hasn't hit one, though, in over a month. May 24th, the last time he's gone deep.
I got a feeling, though. Not for a homer. I just got a feeling for a gapper in the right center.
Good eye right there. He got the fever.
The fever.
And the only prescription.
It's a little cowbell.
I like that combo. The Flying Nun Braves lid combo. Saito, payoff pitch. And he walked him. Good at bat from Kelly Johnson. And that extends the inning, and it'll bring up Chipper Jones. Chipper 1 out of 3. Average down to 290.
And in a 2-0 game, that opposite field homer in the first inning certainly significant, but perhaps as much as anything just to give the Braves a lead, something they hadn't had since Wednesday.
The lead early too is nice, you know.
Yeah, just help everybody be a little more aggressive at the plate, because those numbers have been quite ugly in this series.
And one of those hits, one of the hits that met on base didn't score anybody. That was today. That's right. That was Tommy Hansen.
Well, and the other one, were back-to-back singles 2 days ago by Anderson and Kochman. They just went from first to second.
Muggy afternoon here at Turner Field. Another good crowd. The Braves trying to salvage the finale against the Red Sox. Kelly goes. And he's safe. Second stolen base of the afternoon for Kelly Johnson.
He can do it. You get him on base, he's got the wheels to do this. Great crossover step. Great quick acceleration. I think Jason Varitek just half-heartedly threw that one down there. He knew he didn't have much of a shot. Now will they pitch to Chipper?
In the air, got under it a little bit. Bay has it. Chipper retired, and the Braves leave a man. End of 7. Braves 2, Red Sox nothing. Down Sports South coverage begins at 6:30. Dodge Braves Live Sports South, more games than anyone else. It's why we say this is our team. And you'll be with Chip Carey Tuesday and Wednesday for the first 2 of that series. Here as we go to the 8th, Atlanta on top 2-0. Sunday Braves here on Fox Sports South every single Sunday. It's where we are. Right here on Fox Sports South, and our Sherwin-Williams pitching change leads us to Rafael Soriano.
Who's been about as good as it gets when it comes to the end of the ball game tonight, or this afternoon rather. He'll work the 8th inning, and probably Gonzalez in the 9th. Mark Kotsay, though, 5 for 15 against Atlanta pitching in the 2 series. Had some nice things to say, though, when he was talking to Jerome today on Braves Live about his time here and how he thoroughly enjoyed playing for Bobby Cox and how lucky he has been at the end of his career to be able to play for 2 managers like Bobby and Terry Francona. He said Francona's a lot like Bobby in many ways.
Kotsay the big hit yesterday, an RBI single. He started in left field, moved to first base late, but in the 6th inning his RBI single to left center With 2 outs, scored Euclid. That was the only run of the game.
I just appreciated what he said too about the adjustments he's made as a utility type player. It's hard for a guy that went in their dugout, didn't it? It's hard for a guy who's enjoyed the success that Mark has when you're acquired by a team to just be a 4th outfielder or backup first baseman. It's a tough adjustment for many guys. Some can't do it. But he said, you know what? We have a good ball club. We have a winning team, and we play the game right. And he's happy to be part of it.
The 0-2. And Kotsay down on strikes. There's 1 away. But our AirTran schedule, these are the games leading up to the All-Star break. 13 more. Phillies, Nationals, Cubs, and Rockies. Phillies haven't been playing well. The Nationals have the worst record in the majors. And then the Cubs and Colorado. So the Braves finish up again on the road.
Got to do some damage there. Yeah. Take care of business when those Phils come to town. First trip of the year to Atlanta from Philadelphia. Can you believe that?
It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
In June.
Late June, almost a little
Run
overlap
into
July. We're here in July, August, and then September. The Braves have already been to Philadelphia twice. Soriano's only allowed a run, runs, as it turns out. It was 2 runs in his last 10 outings. But his last 5 outings, 3 strikeouts, then 2, then 3, 1 and 1. On top of his game right now.
Pretty well hit center field, but Polanco backpedaling to haul it in. 2 away. I think Rafael Soriano will at least get some All-Star consideration. I don't know that he'll make the team, but he'll be discussed.
It's so hard for guys that aren't everyday closers to make the team. The last couple of years, the managers have been picking a couple of setup guys, and that's a good thing to see. Would you suspect that the Red Sox, having won 4-1, 1-0, and let's assume this game ends like it is right now, 2-0 Atlanta. Don't you know the Red Sox would be happy to leave town winning 2 out of 3 here?
Sure.
I don't think most people give the Braves enough credit because they lose so many close games.
Long run. Francoeur tracks it down.
And primarily because their pitching is so good. You come in here and win 2 out of 3. You've done some good work.
Leading this one 2-0. Baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head in the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you the 2009 MLB All-Star Game. President Obama will be throwing out the first pitch during the Pepsi All-Star pregame show. And coverage starts Tuesday, July 14th, live from St. Louis, 8 o'clock Eastern, only on Fox. There's a pretty good chance this guy at the plate will be there for the 4th straight year, Brian McCann.
Should be the starter, but he's behind in the voting.
Line to center right at Ellsbury.
Still trailing Yadier Molina of the Cardinals by quite a bit. Voting comes to an end when? Next week?
July 2nd, I'm being told.
Okay. Here's a kid we were talking about earlier today, or I was, Daniel Bard, 6'3", 225 out of Denver. And how much the scouts love this guy. Last pitch, 96.
Sherwin-Williams pitching change.
He's another little guy that's been maybe a little bit of a late bloomer, Boog, because he signed with the Rockies, traded to Cleveland. Red Sox got him with Coco Crisp. Guillermo Mota and Andy Marte, former Brave. But he can rush it up there.
One out, bases empty. Garrett Anderson now. He's had a good day. 2 hits, double and a homer. There's that breaking ball.
Forgive me, I had my Bards wrong. This Bard is out of North Carolina and was originally drafted by the Red Sox.
Red Sox fans making some noise as Anderson spoils the pitch. Daniel Bard was the Red Sox minor league pitcher of the year last year between single A and double A. And another one of these big guys, 6'4". They list him at 200 pounds.
That was an odd one there. Veritek shifting over down and in to block a ball in the dirt, and Garrett squibbed it off the bat over to the left side. Veritek go to his right. Somehow the ball went over by the Red Sox dugout. Still alive.
I mean, that thing is a missile, a 97 on the radar gun.
And it's very smooth and almost effortless.
Something off speed struck him out. Bard retires Anderson. And fans saving money this summer doesn't mean you have to stay home. The Braves have some great ticket deals. This one is awesome. Check out the Chevron Family Value Plan. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, parking, a program, and a $5 gas card for $59. To order, visit Braves.com/tickets. Love the Chevron Family Value Plan.
And while we have a second, Boog, our condolences and sympathies to the family of John Holland, the visiting clubhouse manager. He lost his mom a few days ago. Their services were today, so we're thinking about you, John, and certainly send our prayers and best wishes your way.
Absolutely.
His mom, a longtime nurse, 50 years working in hospitals. Crawford Long here in Atlanta, and also as a Army nurse during World War II.
Wow.
Great lady.
Late swing, look out.
Another great lady, our friend Carol Rogers today, who writes for the AJC, ran a full marathon in Seattle. And it was an effort to raise money for cancer research as a tribute to her brothers. And she finished in the upper 50% of all the women who ran. She ran the full
awesome.
marathon in 4 hours, 43 minutes, 50 seconds today. So way to go, Carol.
Congratulations. Wow, they run marathons all over the place. Seattle, I'm going to go ahead and say that one's probably a little hilly.
You know it was tough.
Roller to short. Green picks it up, throws out Kochman. Braves lead it. Going to the ninth. Joe Simpson with you. A reminder at the conclusion of our game. Brad Hickman, Ron Gant, Jerome Jurinovich. They'll give you a complete recap of today's action, scores and highlights. Make sure to stay right here. Braves Live after the game, and they jump.
Got to go through the heart of their order to get this done.
Sherwin-Williams pitching change, and Mike Gonzalez.
For his 9th save.
Three, 4, 5, Euclid Bay and Ortiz. Catches the corner. One of the things that makes the combo of Soriano and Gonzalez, whatever the order, so difficult. In the late stages, you want guys that are going to get swings and misses, that'll get strikeouts. And on the season, they have combined to strike out 95 and 70 2/3.
Unbelievable how good they've been. And a nice compliment to one another.
And a line drive falls softly to left. Euclid aboard, and it'll bring the tying run to the plate. Jason Bay with a single sandwich between a fly out and a strikeout.
They have 4 hits, and the only one that was really a line drive legit hit was the opposite field hit by Ortiz. Jason Bay had a little dink out to center. The other one was off the glove of Kelly Johnson, and now the pop doink out there by Youkilis.
Braves 2 runs on 6 hits. A solo homer in the first by Chipper Jones. Solo homer in the fourth by Garrett Anderson. Curveball misses down low. And the count 2-1. Mike Gonzalez, his breaking pitch is a curveball. He just throws it at varying speeds. You saw that at 83. That's slider speed, but it's a curve. There it is again, but it's bounced foul past DeMarlo Hale.
Unfortunately today, it's almost like if they don't swing at it, then it's not going to be a strike, because very few curveballs were called for Tommy Hansen that appeared to be strikes. And I don't know if they were just somehow fooling Chad Fairchild, but even the pitch before, 2 pitches ago by Mike Gonzalez, looked like a good pitch.
Overall, we've seen good pitching in this series. Nice stop, McCann. I mean, really, both sides, the starters and the relievers, have been tremendous.
Yeah, that's a long weekend for both sides offensively. A lot of scratching and clawing.
Got him looking. Bay knew it. And that's a big out.
Something else, Brian McCann doesn't get enough credit for calling a game. Great target, great delivery of the pitch, but remember, Jason Bay struck out on a good fastball from Hansen in the 6th inning, right there in the same spot, the inside corner, and he took another one.
Ortiz late on that heater at 95.
I've said this before, Boog, and it goes to Moylan, Soriano, and Gonzalez, that their numbers may not match up to the ERAs and the save numbers for the Red Sox or for the Yankees and Mariano Rivera and his setup guys. I'm not sure who the guys are in Seattle that have such good numbers put together, but when it comes to 3 at the end of the game, I'll take these 3.
I agree. Bounding ball. This could end the game. Kelly goes to first. They get 1, and now Youkilis in a rundown. Throw to first. Tag safe. Oh, brother. With Ortiz running, I think Kelly just needs to go ahead, get the out at second, and start the double play.
Well, it kind of goes back to that play we were talking about earlier today when Ortiz got the base hit. You got to know who the batter runner is. But I thought they had Youkilis dead to rights here. Kelly intercepted him, and now it's just a matter of executing. They've got the first out. Casey's calling for the ball. Casey was calling for the ball from Hernandez, didn't get it, and then Hernandez kind of threw it over the top of Casey, and that's what had Kelly jumping. A little too many cooks in the kitchen there.
Red Sox down to their final out. 2-0 Braves. Varitek. Youkilis takes off for second. And they'll say defensive indifference. I'll tell you an odd stat for Mike Gonzalez. This was into today. With nobody on out of the windup, they're hitting .232. And they've got 9 extra base hits. And with runners on, it's .178 with 3 extra base hits.
Here was Casey calling for that toss. an odd number. I mean, he likes working out of the windup, but the numbers are better out of the stretch.
He's ahead of Varitek 0-2 and trying to come up with his 9th save. Youkilis at second. Just got a piece. Paid crowd today, 41,463.
Again, Brian McCann, this is his second trip out there with Varitek at the plate.
The one thing about those numbers that is curious, there are a lot of relievers, a lot of closers that work only out of the stretch, and he's been better out of the stretch.
Yeah.
Here we go with another 0-2. Little flare into center. It'll fall for a hit. Youkilis comes in to score, and it's a 2-1 game.
And what's sitting on Bobby Cox's mind right now is the inability to complete that rundown. Because that would have been Youkilis, and that would have ended the game. Boy, that ball was a foot outside, Boog. Brian McCann leaned out on his knee to backhand that ball. It was so far outside.
George Gutierrez will hit, or I should say will run for Varitek at first. A strike to Ellsbury.
Ahead in the count, 0-2. Got a pitch or two here to play with to see if he'll chase. And now we got an idiot on the field.
Security wrestling him to the ground.
It'll be a costly venture, and unfortunately it disrupts the whole flow of the game right now while they cuff him and get him off the field.
I was at a game as a fan at Yankee Stadium, say probably around 1993. It was a Yankee Red Sox game, and the Red Sox were about to win. And with 2 outs and a man on, a fan ran on the field. Believe Greg Harris was the pitcher. Didn't see it. Ball was put in play, and the batter flied out to end the game. But the third base umpire had seen the fan, called time, as the fan is being cheered, making his way off the field. Our guy here. So anyway, they determined no play, and the Yankees went on to win the game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to say it was Mike Stanley who hit the last out, but a fan ran on the field, and I was sitting right near Jeffrey Lyons, who is a movie reviewer and a great Red Sox fan. And my friends were all Yankee fans and told him teasingly that they were going to continue to run on the field until the Yankees won the game. 0-2. Gonzalez trying to finish off Ellsbury and the Red Sox. Got him! Ball game. Mike Gonzalez closes it down, and the Braves salvage the finale. 2-1 the final. And for Gonzo, it is save number 9, and great pitching today. How about Tommy Hansen? Not feeling well, battling the flu bug.